You see it, Chip? I mean, you see it, Chip?
Not seeing it on live stream, so. There we go. I got it.
Okay, so the next one was a complaint that the King County Board of Elections violated the Open Meeting Act by meeting in closed session, discuss a matter that should have been discussed in an open session for the reasons of getting information. We was requesting information, legal information from Chip. And if you see up top on the first page, it says we find no violations.
Okay. You would like me to read that?
Yes.
How far down? You want the whole thing?
Just here, the word says we found no
Okay.
violations.
The complaint alleges that the Kent County Board of Elections, the parentheses, the Board of Elections or board, and the parentheses, violated the Open Meeting Act by meeting in closed session to discuss a matter that should have been discussed in open session. And then it goes through the complaint itself. It says the complainant alleges that the indication of the personal matters exception of 3-305 parentheses B parentheses 1 was improper, apparently believing that the closed session discussion involved board members concerning about other members' conduct. The complainant assessed that the personal exception was inapplicable because the Board of Election does not have jurisdiction over its own members. The Board of Election responds that the purpose of the closed session was not to discuss members concerned about their members' conduct, but rather board employees' concerns. And we have received the closed session minutes and can confirm that the discussion focused on staff members' concerns. We thus find that the discussion fell within the scope of the personal matters exception, 3-305 parentheses B parentheses 1, either as a discussion of the employee of an employee over whom the Board of Elections has jurisdiction, or as a personal matter that affected one or more specific individuals. We find that the entirety of the discussion fell within the exception or the personal matter accepted.
So there was no violation found with that one. Was it everything?
Sean can speak. He was approved to speak, but he can go here for 3 minutes.
And Sean is going to be discussing election judge recruitment.
Yes, thank you for your time. All right, so first I'm going to bring up that I think election judge recruitment is a really important issue. Some of you may know me from the Republican Central Committee, where it was our duty to bring election judges, and Shimani has often asked that we do. And it's always been a troublesome thing. I understand the frustrations of hiring people for this job. So I bring this as representing not the Central Committee, but the Kent County Voter Integrity Group. I have some cards here with information. I act as a nonpartisan election integrity advocate. So, one thing that I've noticed is that, or at the very least have heard, is that since we have a shortage of election judges, we often tend to pull in judges from other counties, sometimes, long distances from Kent County. I don't feel that represents Kent County well for people that are going to be working at the polls. And likewise, it was announced in the last, I believe it was the April meeting, that the official number of election judges that worked in the 2024 election by party were Democrats 71, Republican 44. And that's nearly a 2-to-1 difference. And I don't think that represents Kent County very well either. So I wanted to approach this as a try to help situation by recruiting election judges to meet that gap, try to get it as equal as possible. And the reason that's necessary is that there are laws on the books, specifically for election parity, as it's called. And so I wanted to share this with the board if it's okay. It's just a printout of the election law that I'm going to be referencing. And 2 for you and 3 for you. And all this states is that there is the need to have per polling place or per precinct the equal number of judges by party, and also that the chief judges must be equal, one from each party at each polling place. And that may not necessarily be happening. And I've known from personal experience and several people I've talked to that that doesn't happen. So by recruiting people, I hope that I can meet the difference and provide the people you need in order to schedule them to meet parity. So what we did was with the help of board member Barbara Reed and several volunteers, we came up with 12 new applicants that by canvassing different neighborhoods, looking for people, telling them what the job's about, showing them the trifold application that you hand out at the office here. And that's what these are. It's filled out application forms. If it's okay, I'd like to hand this to the board or whoever needs to.
To Michelle.
Michelle.
Thank you. And I'd like you to know also that I will plan to keep in touch with them just to make sure that they have what they need for training purposes, that they schedule. Is there, basically keep up the encouragement, because I feel like sometimes judges are, especially new ones, are discouraged because they feel that like they heard things, or they feel like it may not be worth their time. And I want to reassure people that it is. So, so the finish, I would hope that, I know that you have plenty of Democrats to fill, your positions for chief judge and regular judges. I hope that with the new applicants that maybe some need to be turned away in order to meet parity. And I hope that can be handled fairly.
I got feedback on that.
Sure.
Shamania and Michelle sent out applications to every Republican in the state, in the household. And they also went back and changed as were 2 Democrats. United Democrat and Republican for chiefs. There's no Democrat or Republican, it's either or for the chief now.
I don't understand your point.
If you're a chief judge, you got to be a Republican or a Democrat.
Right.
If not, no 2 Democrats or no Republican. It's either chief or Republican.
Okay.
They already done that. So just to let you know, it's already been done.
Okay, I appreciate that.
But
Is that on public record? Is that something I could request?
She can put it on public.
Actually, we have not assigned anybody as of yet. So once it's assigned, the board members will actually get the documents and they will review them. But we're not going to assign anybody until we get all the forms back, the availability forms back. But we have recruited our chief judge over there. We had because for instance, what I was talking about, the chief judge is down in 4-1. It was unaffiliated, I think Democrat. So like you said, Sean, there's a new law where it has to be either a Democrat or the 2 major parties. So we, like I said, we recruit within the polling place because we have dedicated election judges that's been with us forever. So so what we did was Miss Nancy, she is not a major party of in our Democrat or Republican. So we reached out to Karen and asked Karen if she was interested in being a chief judge at 4-1, and she said yes.
Good job.
So, yep.
Okay. If I may, my question still stands. Is there public records that can be pulled that can show the, I understand the sensitive information you don't want to share, but if there's a report that can show that there is parity?
Yeah, it will be a report once we get our judges assigned. Yeah, so they're not assigned yet, so there's not a report ready.
Okay,
But
so
when
I
we
can
get them
request
assigned-
it when it's done.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
And you'll know when it's done, because I'm sure somebody from the board will let you know, because they're gonna be the ones that's gonna have to look at it. They don't actually approve the list, but they look at the list to make sure there is parity.
Mhm. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you so much, Sean. And we have your documents, and we will go through and take care of those as well.
If I can make a note, each time we have a meeting, we get a listing of where the individuals are as a Republican or as a Democrat or as an independent. And I noticed that the Republicans are really doing a good job of getting people to be responding to that list. And so there's getting parity right there in the numbers of Kent County itself. So that's good sign.
Now, does anybody else, like for instance, Dawn, I know you said you were going out to get some to recruit. Were you helping with Sean, or is there?
I didn't help in that manner.
Uh-huh.
We have a picnic coming up, the Republicans of Kent, and we're gonna have a separate table just for judge recruitment at that picnic. We have, we expect 50 to 80 people attending. But I just want to ask, the letters that went out went to anybody that had been a judge in the past?
Yes.
Okay, that's the point.
It goes out to the judges that worked in the previous election.
Right.
And then we fill the position, the vacancies. Like I said, like for instance, if for 4-1, we asked Karen to fill in that position. If someone else decided they don't want to come back, then we'll go ahead and we'll recruit from within the polling place. And if there's nobody interested in the polling place, then we'll go ahead and recruit outside.
But I also think I heard you say this year, you're going to really work toward parity.
We don't have a choice. It's
Right.
the law. Before, as long as we had a Republican or a Democrat at the polling place, but it's the law, so we don't have a choice.
Right. But not just the chief judge. I mean, the totals should be 50-50 for 120 people.
No,
60-60.
I'm sure it's gonna be hard to have 50-50 because it always has been, but we're gonna do the best that we can.
Some of
Just by
those
what you just
applicants
said.
are trained and were told they weren't needed.
Well, if they were trained and told they weren't needed, it was because we had enough election judges. Now, what we do, as I said before, if we have election judges that have been trained, we put them on the standby list. So if they choose, like for instance, I offered Sean to be a unit judge, but he was a standby unit judge and he declined it. But I mean, there's nothing that we can do about that. We put you on the standby list for a reason because we do need standby judges. And if you say, hey, no, I don't want to be a standby judge, there's nothing that we can do. But everybody that we have come in here for training, we assign them either a judge or a standby.
And I'm jumping in really super duper quickly. And I will say that again, I commend Ms. Cauliflower because when I ran down that list of standbys and everybody gave me a no, she was willing to jump in and say yes. And I mean, at the drop of a dime. So it's not that they don't get called, it's that they decline for whatever reason. You know, I can't attest to why, but
Or maybe maybe they're at work, they don't get the call.
or whatever. And it is like moments notice, because we start calling people, sometimes it might be after 5, it might be 6 a.m. And so if they've already, obligated themselves to something else, then that can be an issue as well. But like I said, we did have judges that were willing to step up, with her being one in mind, because I can remember each time I called on her, she never told me no. And I was so grateful. And that was after running down the list. So it can be frustrating in that respect as well.
I can just follow up. Another way in which we've reached out for election judges is through mass email to all of our members. And there is a new judge that came through on that. It's in the packet that Sean gave you. But I need to come back just so I'm clear, because I know it's what we're all hoping is going to happen. When you say it's now the law, last year there were 71 Democrats and 41 Republicans involved in the election operation, put it that way. This year, the game plan going into it, if I hear you correctly, is going to be
We're going to try to have it equal as possible.
Right, and 60-60, and we're gonna be and the reason I'm
we're gonna try to have it equal as possible. And the thing about it is,
why do you qualify? That's what-
Some people aren't trained.
yeah, and then like we explained before,
Oh, I'm not talking about prior people coming in. I'm talking about the end of the day when we start the election process, the election execution, put it that way. There'll be at every polling place the same number of Democrats as there are Republicans involved. In
It
that.
will be our attempt to do that, yes.
Okay. Because we're working hard on getting you the Republicans to do it. That's why.
Okay.
It's important.
But Dawn,
Well,
the Republicans gotta come in and, come to the training.
Oh, I understand. all that.
it's a process that
It's
they
a
go
process
through.
they got to go through.
Like I stated before, you can come in and train, but if you don't understand the equipment or you don't know,
Right.
you understand the process, our trainers are gonna say, hey, Shimani, this person is not working out. So we just can't say, okay, well, we need to kick this person because we need a Republican. No, it's not gonna work like that. So like Paul said, we're gonna do our best to make sure that, we have what we need per those state board of elections law.
And I
we're
will
gonna be
say,
doing
wait a
our
minute, I will say that Shamani and will work with the person till the end to make sure they know what they're doing.
Because we worked with the lady that you brought in. We had her come in. What was her name? Do you remember?
I can't remember, but she was such a,
She was from
she was
Shaverville.
dedicated to learning. And she came in, several
One-on-one.
several days, one-on-one, just to learn that poll book. And so I think a lot of the problem that we have is that they come in for training, and by the end of the training, you know how many of those manuals I get back? Well, they're like, nope, sorry, not gonna do it.
I think a lot of the older generation,
They're daunting.
I think that, because before you used to just check it off in a book. And now you have these poll books and it's like getting more complicated. And then now we're going to get new poll books. We're going to get new equipment, but like Michelle said, we sit down and even though we don't have to, but we'll have the person come in, we'll do one-on-one, we'll go over the scenarios with them, and we don't mind helping. So if there's an issue with somebody learning, even if our trainer said, hey, Shamanya, this one is definitely not going to go to the poll book. Okay, well, we'll put them on the DS200.
But the point I'm trying to make is like you're saying you're going to do your best to have qualified people in place for the election. That's what it should be. And we're going to be working hard to be sure that we end up helping you get those qualified people. So if you come up with now, okay, because somebody failed the training, you're down 2 Republicans, you need 2 more. We need to know that.
We let you know that ahead of time. We always let you know ahead of time.
So
And you also have to remember the trainers are not here forever. They're here for a certain period of time. So we can't have somebody training up until election day.
Right.
So it's cut off at a certain time. So once we have what we have, then that's what we have to go with. Because like I said before, the elections still have to go on regardless of how many Democrats and how many Republicans that we have.
I have a question about your assignment. Do you have a certain deadline, Shimandi, about when you make the schedule for election judges and it can't be changed?
We try to, well, I can't say that because we change it every day. We change it right up until election day. It's changed because you have people that call in and people that can't make it. But we try to have it set in stone, maybe 3 months before the election. But we'll change it right up until the last day. But like I said, when it comes to training, the trainers are here for a certain period of time. If training is mandatory, if you don't get training, you would not be an election judge.
So in the case of judges who have come in for the training and then were either immediately or later told they weren't needed, if there was a parity requirement, they should be adjusted. Schedule should be adjusted to make room for them.
Well, we've never told an election judge that came in for training that they weren't needed. Never.
I've talked to several people. That's exactly what
We've never told an election judge that came into training. Regardless of who you talk to, Michelle and I have never told an election judge that came to training that they
If you
were
get
not
those
needed.
names, we can follow through with them.
I'm
Saying I talked to 3 people, that doesn't tell us anything.
Because we never do, because what we do is we will put them on the standby. Because we definitely need standby judges. We had 20 standby judges, and by the time we went through the standby judges list, we only had 3 that was willing to come into work.
So our goal should be to have you get 80 Republicans at the end of the day.
The more you get, the better it is.
That'll be covered both qualified, 80 qualified and maybe 20 on standby.
The better you get, the better it is.
So they all got to be qualified.
I understand.
And I will say that we had a gentleman that stepped in because he was on our standby list. And, you know, he was a Republican, and a lot of people, when it comes to especially that provisional area, it's a lot. I'm not gonna say that it's not. And I will tell you that that gentleman was like, yes, I'll do it. And I mean, I was so nervous because I was like, oh Lord, he's probably gonna leave me midday. But he hung in there. He called me if he had an issue, and we were able to work it out. And you know, when I went down there, he was like, hey, I enjoy this. And I was like, what? So I was like, definitely, I have got to have him back if he's willing. Because he literally was like, okay, I'm committed to it. I'm gonna do the best that I can do. If I get hung up, I was like, if you get hung up, call me. I'm right down there. So it's not that, you know, we say we don't need you, because believe me, we need everyone, and especially those standbys, because you don't know what's going to happen. Life happens to everybody.
Exactly. So
And I
we
know
would never
even
turn
myself,
anybody
I've
away.
had deaths in my family during the election that I had to forego being with my family because I had a job to do. So, you know, we never know what's going to happen. So we definitely do need those standbys. So to say that we were told we weren't needed, that's not true.
Not
A
true.
lot of times if a person figures that I'm not assigned here that day,
Yeah.
then you don't need me. And that's certainly not true.
And standby also get paid $50. So you don't have to stay at home. You just have to be available. So if we give you a call, then you can say, hey, you know what, and we sing to any polling place.
Yeah.
So, you know, wherever we need you at, you know, so you just be available. They get paid $50 just to have their cell phone there. Even if they don't work, they get paid.
And we'll certainly encourage and educate people when they end up on standby, what that means.
And we
Because I
also
think-
do as well.
I know you do, but I mean, like I said, we're trying to get the Republicans to step up and go the whole way through and do the job.
And just like I said, like with Sean sending in these these applications, and I'm sure you probably have a copy. Then just all you have to do is give us a call. Hey, Shamanda, can you tell us what's going on with this person? You know, have this person attended training. We have no problem. You know, we say, hey, Sean, this person hasn't been called. They haven't even responded. So then you can reach out to them and say, hey, the election office is still waiting to hear back from you.
Okay, I might email you later at some point.
Well, the person you should email is Michelle. She's the one in charge of election judges.
Thank you.
And I like, and sometimes I feel like almost like I'm hound dogging these people because like I will call every number on that page, and Mr. McGinnis, bless his heart, I have called his wife because I'm like, hey, he's not answering his phone. So I'm needing you to tell him to call me ASAP. You know, so I mean, I will find somebody that's close to you if I have to.
He doesn't, he doesn't text me.
Yeah. And I'm just like, what? But I do appreciate it, and you know, all that you're doing. These mean like everything to me because
Their goals
I'm
are
surprised at the people that I hand these to, and the minute that they say, "Oh, well, I'm going to take it with me and fill it out," I'm like, "But you're right here, and I got it."
Never happens.
You know, and I'm like, if they take it with them and fill it out, it's a no-go. So I appreciate the table because just like kind of handing it to them and let them walk away, it ain't gonna happen. So I do appreciate it, and these are just like everything to me. I feel like I just want to hug them, but yeah. So thank you, and keep them coming. Keep them coming. I do realize that 26, it seems like a long ways away, but it's really not. And so even setting up, you know, getting the trainings set up now, maybe they have to be tweaked, maybe not. But, you know, some people figure, oh, well, that's a long time away. I can't answer right now. You know, but I'm like, put something there. And then when we get there, if we have to make adjustments, we will. But, you know, just at least, you know, give me, you'll try super duper hard.
And Sean, I would wait probably until closer to like December, January to inquire about, you know, what's going on with the applications that you submitted.
Is there a way to get a snapshot, and if we don't get it until December, that's fine, but a snapshot of the numbers by party? In how many are trained and how many are on standby, just so we
Well,
know where we are.
The
with
training is
numbers.
not going to be until
Yeah.
April, so you wouldn't get a snapshot not until
Well,
after
the
April.
snapshot, the first number would be how many you have by party, how many
Mhm.
applications you got.
So that probably won't be until, March. So just send us an email back and let us know, because
Between
I'm
now and then,
sure,
we're gonna be trying to get people.
well,
to help
right
us.
now, we're not assigning anybody. So we don't have anybody
No, I'm
assigned
not
as of
looking
yet.
for assignment, I'm saying, okay.
The only way we
end
can give you a snapshot is if we enter them in the system and assign them. So you will have to wait until we start entering the judges in the system and assigning them. And we have to pull it off of MD voters. We don't actually have like a list of judges that we actually write them down. We have to enter in the MD voter system and we have to assign them, and then you could have a
but that's
snapshot.
after they're trained, right?
No, this would be before they train.
So when you receive the application, you enter them in that.
No, we're not gonna be entering in the system, probably not until what? November, December,
I would say
probably when we
November,
start.
yeah.
December.
And
Yeah.
then, and between now and November, what's that, 2 months, 3 months?
So just reach back out to us and ask us, and we'll see how
Where
far we
are we?
are.
You
Yeah,
know, we're shooting for 60 to 80.
Yep.
Republican. So where are we? You know,
that'll work.
because it may or may not be that they've all come from us,
Mm-hmm,
you know,
mm-hmm.
they come in otherwise too. It would be wonderful.
And we do get them, you know, so they do, when they fill out, a voter registration form, and we have some of them that will, in turn say, you know, hey, I have an interest in becoming an election judge.
Right.
And so then I send them out the form, I'll call them, but you'd be surprised at the number of people now that are so spooked. They won't like give phone numbers and that, you know, and I was like, I promise you, I'm not calling for any bullshit. But, you know, so make sure that they give me as much information as possible. If a phone number changes or an email, address changes, let me know that. Because when I send out an email, if I get a bounce back, then I'm gonna have to move on to the next individual.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's important that they give me as much information as possible. And I promise you, I'm not just gonna call you and say, hey, how are you doing? I'm not gonna do that, but, yeah, I do need that information.
And as far as our county election judges, as Sean was speaking about, we definitely are had to use out of county judges, unless we wouldn't have enough people to man the polling places. And it is a state law that as long as you are registered in the state of Maryland, that you can work in any county in Maryland. So if we need out of county election judges, we would definitely utilize them.
It was Miss Maggie, that was her name.
Yeah.
Maggie J.
Maggie J. Yep. And we worked around doctor's appointments and everything because, you know, she had some appointments that she had to keep. So it was like, she was able to come in, you know, maybe 2 hours here, an hour here, 40 minutes here, but she was dedicated to learning. And as long as you're willing,
Then we're
we're
going
gonna
to
work with you.
She was someone I recruited as a
Mhm.
watcher the year before. and
Mhm.
That was a great education opportunity too
Mhm.
for people. I have had a number of them say, hey, I'd like to do the job.
Mhm.
She attended Kansas,
And canvassing.
and I met her.
Yeah, yeah. All right, is there anything else that before we continue on our agenda?
Will we get back to the letter? Because I know I had responded that we would talk about it.
Oh, you want to talk about the letter as far as the election judges?
Or that helps me along with recruiting too.
Yeah,
We can
yeah.
tell them how much they're gonna be compensated.
So right now, the election judges, the chief judges is what, 275? And the regular judges is 250. And I think I gave everybody a copy of, because we were thinking about trying to increase our election judge pay comparison to the other counties. But the other counties are making $300, like $25 more. So it's not like they're making, you know, a large amount. So, but Lisa had written a letter, and in the letter, I think she had suggested that the chief judges get an increase of $50.
But we have to vote on it,
Yeah,
right?
you do.
Okay.
And
Like,
you have to discuss it, yeah. And the regular judges get an increase of $25. But after looking at what the other counties are getting paid, I think $25 each would be sufficient. Because if you look at Calvert County is 275, and they're larger than us. Caroline County is 300, and we're about the same size. Cecil is 350. Charles County is 300. They're larger than us. Dorchester is larger than us. They're paying 300. Frederick is paying 300. And Frederick is about the same size as we are. Queen Anne's is paying 300. They're larger than us. St. Mary's is paying 300. Somerset is paying 300. And Talbot is paying 300.
Yeah, I thought we had voted on this. So
No,
that's why-
we haven't voted on how much to pay them. And then also you have to remember one thing, that the election judges' pay does not include their training. So the election judges are able to attend 2 trainings. They get paid for 2 trainings. They also get paid, our judges also get paid for picking up and delivering the supplies. So they pick up the supplies, they get $30 for picking up the supplies and $30 for returning the supplies.
And is there a bonus for returning judges that the state helps
They
pay?
get, for the whole state of Maryland, the returning judges get $100 per day. So if you're working 3 days of early voting, you get $100 extra per day
For returning.
for returning judges. So, I mean, looking at this, I would suggest a $25 increase, but it's up to the board.
I would suggest probably is gonna make more sense, because that's what they're gonna go by is what, I mean, anybody, you know, even when you're doing your personal budgets at home, you know, you're gonna go by something else. You have to compare it to something else. So I think if we say, you know, 25 is a little bit easier to swallow.
I mean, because Baltimore County is paying $350, and
Yeah.
Baltimore County is way larger than what we are.
Mhm.
So I could see our chief judges getting a 300 and the regular judges getting 275.
75, yeah.
With that, having said that, I'd like to also ask that we attach this to the letter so that the commissioners who are going to be looking at it have that knowledge in front of them as well, so they know what we're trying to bring some parity to.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to update the letter,
Mhm.
because I think the letter, I
Yeah.
think Lisa said
It
it.
does need update.
Okay.
And I will say that, Mr. Fellows did in fact, make it his business to, have a working lunch, with them to kind of show, what it is that the chief judges are responsible for. And so he came in and had me, you know, give him, a manual so that he could kind of show them what the judges have to do and give them a better breakdown, because I think the fact that they could hear from somebody who's actually doing the job was helpful. And I haven't really had an opportunity to talk to him since then, but I know that he did in fact meet with them. So
Meet with the commissioners, yeah.
Do you want to make a motion at this point?
Yeah, I think it would be a good
All right,
idea.
I'd like to make a motion that we modify the letter to reflect the $25 that we've been talking about, and also have as an attachment, the listing of the other counties and what they're paying.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
It's nice you do it in letter. Good.
Mhm.
Good job.
Had to put my brain on.
Yeah, I was happy to see it done.
Okay, so the next board, if nobody have any other questions,
Chip was supposed to be writing a letter, because I know we keep renewing the
no,
lease.
Chip is gonna write a letter for the office space.
That was back in February. Are we able to get an update through you? If he's
I haven't
not-
heard anything from him.
Do we,
And
I know
Michelle
we
tried,
retain our legal counsel.
and Michelle tried to call him, so I'm not sure if anything happened but he hasn't contacted me. And we were sending emails back and forth yesterday, and he never told me that he wasn't gonna be able to make it. So but I can always contact him after the meeting.
Because did you renew this lease for 6 months when?
Yeah, the lease has been renewed for 6 months, but we still have to renew it because we have to find a place.
And he was gonna help us advocate, like, we need the commissioners
Yeah,
to move a little bit with. what
because
they
it's gonna
reimburse.
take, if we do find a place, it's gonna take at least a year
Yeah.
before we actually move in, before they can get all the wiring done.
Is the 6 months you're talking about, the lease, is that through to the end of the end of the calendar year, or is it on a physical year basis?
It's the end of the calendar year.
Okay.
Yep.
If that's anybody with credit though.
I just need to ask, go back to documents, precinct voter counts. Does that end up on the website now, or is that after?
The precinct voter count is on the box.com.
So it is out on the state website.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
And then once the minutes have been signed, they will be on the they would be on there as well.
Thank you.
So, but, you live number 14?
If you know nothing else, the next meeting will be September the 4th, 2025 at 8:30.
Is there a motion? Motion to adjourn.
And I'm gonna
I'll
make
make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay. And, we're also gonna have a closed meeting today. The closed meeting is going to, the state board come down and evaluate me as the election director as far as, the process of the election office. So,
Do we have that worksheet that we've been using the past couple times?
no, he doesn't do, oh, yeah, Paul will have it, yep.
It's just part of open meetings. Act
Mhm,
for
I
our
can give him one, yep.
Yeah.
So,
What's it called?
he's gonna be here at 10 o'clock, but, like Lisa said, the meeting is adjourned. You guys, let's see. Yeah, that's all it's on here.
9:27.
9:27.
38.
Motion.
38.
All right, so that's all we have for today. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Sean, for providing us with,
Congratulations.
with your application.
You'll be fine.
Wanda, I should go to work. Is there somebody that can
Thank
take
you
me?
for
It's a closed session.
I apologize.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.